Jan. Please go ahead. Lee and Jan. Lee and Jan. Lee and Say a few words for us, please.
I have about a 30-minute presentation to do here. However, I'm going to cut it down to about 3 or 4 minutes. But I want you to know this has been a great honor for us to be here and to see the operation that we started with Bill Henry many, many years ago. And to see the quality of counselors and the quality of the program that has been upheld. I've been very, very impressed with you campers for listening, doing the things that help you participate and have a great time. The man that I'd like to introduce is a man that taught me all about camping, all about kids, how to handle them, all about programs that made sense. Build it upon a reputation of honesty and hard work, and working with each other and being good campers. And I think those principles still hold true today. That you have the very, very good fortune of having Noah and Peter as your leaders, because they stand for everything that's good, in my opinion. Bill Henry was a teacher in Pasadena. I taught at Pasadena High School, and I needed a summer job. And so I was introduced to Bill Henry by a football coach named Tom Hamilton at Pasadena High School, and he sent me over to meet Bill. When I met him, I immediately liked him. He told me we could buy the camp, and I said, buy the camp? I'm a new school teacher. I don't have money to buy the camp. And he said, well, think about it. So I went back home, and Jan and I talked about it, and we prayed about it, and we talked to people about it, and we came back to Bill, and I said, I came back to Tom Hamilton and I said, we just can't do it. And Tom Hamilton looked at me and he says, the heck you can't. And he grabbed me by the hand and we went over and got some money to buy the camp. And from that point on, Bill trained me and taught me how to be a counselor and taught me how to be an outdoorsman. Spent many time in the mountains with him, up canyons, catching snakes, all the things that happened in Camp Shi Ini when we were here. And I owe him a great deal because he's not only my instructor, but he was a good friend. And Jackie was the background for him, and we really appreciate the honor of being here and seeing that Camp Shi Ini is thriving. You have great counselors, you have a great program, and so on behalf of Camp Shi Ini, we'd like to induct Bill Henry into the Hall of Fame. So Bill, would you come up? Keep it to 5 minutes.
Oh, somebody else said only 30 seconds. But, you know, he's a little older now. Yeah, a lot older, and he's still telling Camp Shi Ini stories that some of them really aren't that true, because we ended up giving him the camp free. But anyway, we appreciate these two, Jan and Lee. Oh, that's his name, Lee. Followed up with this. Well, Jackie and I just learned last summer actually, that Camp Shi Ini was still going, because we in 1968, after 15 years starting this, moved to La Jolla and started La Jolla camps down there. So we lost track of Jan and Lee, and also the Costers, Nancy and Jean. They kept the camp going, and when Jackie and I called the new owners, these two brothers, Noah and Peter, that we just couldn't believe what was going on. We got online. My 30 seconds is up. Okay, so anyway, we're just glad this was unbelievable what this camp has developed into. We only had 3 station wagons and no seat belts. And, well, one thing that was different about our camp, a couple things maybe, but was riflery. And when one of the campers turned the rifle, it was just BB guns, but through the National Rifle Association, we got the same awards, patches, shoulder patches, the diplomas, and the medals, and they could win the same thing for a 10-foot course there. We're so glad my wife's given me the signal to quit it. And I go from one story to the next, but so good to see everybody here. And I just learned that the yellow shirts are all girls and the orange shirts are the boys. So I thought that was pretty neat too. Okay, I thank you.
Okay, now we'd like to remember Jackie. Jackie was the one that thought up Camp Shi Ini. She went to the library and looked up different things, and she's the one that named it Camp Shi Ini. So I'm going to let her come up here, get her plaque, and tell us a few things. And I assure you she'll be shorter than Bill.
I'm not sure we deserve it. You know what? It's been a wonderful experience here today, and I just want to tell a little bit. Dan stole my line. I was going to say 60 years ago, way back before they had computers and cell phones, I went to a place called the library. And in the library, I researched Indian language. And I came upon Shi Ini and said, summer people. I said, oh boy, that's just what we need for our camp name. So I went home, and I told Newt and I told Bill, and they thought that was a great idea. And then I designed the Indian that some of you have on there with the bow and arrow, and that's how we started. But we've been around a long, long time. 65 years. So anyway, we just think this is a wonderful, wonderful camp that was thrown into, and we're so proud that we were the instigators of it. So it's really great and an honor to be here. Thank you so much.
All right, campers, these next two that I would like to introduce need no introduction. Without these two, nothing would get done. We wouldn't have the great camp that we have today. So I think these two deserve a standing ovation. Peter and Noah.
Well, you guys, this is a very special day for a whole lot of people. When Noah and I started attending camp in the mid-'80s, one of the most dynamic, charismatic, and really and truly, when you think of a counselor that impacted so many kids at that time at the camp, that counselor, Noah, that counselor was Terry. And Terry, of course, is the daughter of Lee and Jan Lyon. And on my very first day of camp, which was actually my first day, but probably well deep and toward the end of Terry's career, Terry picked me up for camp. Terry was picking me up for camp and you up for camp for a number of different years. And Noah, there was really no counselor at that time with the gravitas, with the charisma, and just the ability to captivate a crowd that Terry had. And she really was a legend. And I remember being in her tribe when I was a Navajo and Comanche. I remember the magic door stop when she would push on the brakes and the doors would slam shut. I remember all the excitement that Terry caused at Camp Shi Ini, and guess what? She still brings that kind of excitement to Camp Shi Ini. Absolutely. So on behalf of Camp Shi Ini and the Hall of Fame, we would like to induct Terry Iverson into the Camp Shi Ini Hall of Fame!
Thank you so much. This is an honor to be here. My parents bought the camp when I was 12, and so I was a junior counselor the very first year. And I have to tell you a fun story. That's when the Kickapoos started. And we had a little Mustang, I think it was. There was about 5 kids in the back seat of a car, of course, no seat belts, and we just kind of had to contain them. It was just a fun, great experience. I remember picking up Peter and Noah, and they were just the best kids. And believe it or not, Peter was really, really quiet. I am just shocked. I'm so surprised to see him this quiet, but it's so amazing to see how they've taken this to the next level. We certainly had lots of fun at camp, but I don't know that we had quite as much fun as you guys have had here today. They came out with their cut-off jeans and their shirts tucked in with belts on every single day. Their mom was awesome. She would walk them out to the van and made sure that we knew everything that they were doing that particular day, and they were just great. And then as I grew older, I had 3 children, and I was able to come back to camp. I live in Utah. Was able every summer to come back and be a counselor for my parents. So I'm so grateful that I had that opportunity. My 2 oldest kids would have loved to be here today and see how much Camp Shi Ini has grown, and I really appreciate being here. And thank you so much, Peter and Noah, for making this 65-year anniversary. And you guys still need to work on give you a great big house, so let's do that one, okay? All right, give Peter and Noah a great big a bigger the biggest all right, thank you.
Let's make some noise for Terry!